Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my channel. This is my random recipes. These are the desserts. Today's recipe has already been quite a project. I thought the name of this recipe was Amish Friendship Cake. Talking to my friend, she's kind of my consultant. This particular recipe was from her. She corrected me and said, no, this really isn't an Amish friendship cake. An Amish cake is more like a sourdough. This is more like a fruit cake. I am simply calling this recipe friendship cake. I know what you're thinking. Fruitcakes have been given a bad rap over the years, and rightfully so. I really can't stand fruitcake. If you do like fruitcake, I apologize. No offense to you, it's just not my thing. I think the problem with fruitcake is all the petrified fruits. Ew, nasty. This fruitcake, though, I really do like. So as they said in the movie, let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. So I'm going to put the starter together. I have the list of ingredients here. I'll read them off to you, and then we'll go ahead and dump them into my gallon jug. A 20-ounce can of Pineapple Tidbits, a 16-ounce can of canned apricots that are cut up into small pieces. We have a 16-ounce can of peaches and heavy syrup cut up in small pieces, a 10-ounce jar of Maraschino Cherries, 1 1/4 cups of this is Bourbon, and 1 1/4 cups of sugar. So let's go ahead and assemble this. I have a large funnel just to help keep the mess to a minimum. So this is day 1. This is where we assemble the starter. You want the juice for all of the fruits except the cherries. Next, we move on to the apricots. Again, this is a 16-ounce can of apricots, and I cut them up kind of smallish. A 16-ounce can of peaches and heavy syrup, also cut up into small pieces. These were the slices. Okay, and then 10-ounce jar of maraschino cherries. I did cut them up rather small. And now the booze. This is 1 1/4 cups of bourbon. And she goes. And 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar. All we're going to do now is give it a good stir. We want the sugar to get dissolved in there. You want a gallon jar if you can find one. Some places that have canning supplies do still have gallon-sized jars. Then we're going to put a coffee filter over the top of the jar. We're going to put this rubber band around the opening of the jar. There we go. All right, so this is how it's going to sit. It's going to sit on the counter in my kitchen. It's summertime right now, so it's pretty warm. This is going to ferment, so it's going to be kind of bubbly for the next 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks. And then each day we're going to come back and we're going to give this a stir. So if you need more heat in your kitchen, the temperature goes up 1 degree for every foot that you raise your jar up. So if you have to, you may put it on top of your refrigerator. That also keeps it kind of out of the way. So we're done with this for now. We'll be back again tomorrow to do the stir. On day 10, you want to add 1 16-ounce can of peaches with the syrup. The peaches should be cut into small pieces, and 2 1/2 cups of sugar. On day 20, you want to add a 16 to 18-ounce jar of maraschino cherries, cut up small, omit the syrup. You want to add 2 1/4 cups of sugar also. This is where we are today. The starter has been fermenting for 29 days, well, 28 days. Today's the 29th day. So today is the day to begin making the cake. You can let your starter ferment for anywhere from 21 to 30 days. I have drained the fruit. Turn this down so you can see. So this is the fruit. I have drained most of the liquid away. I'm going to have to drain off a little bit more. This is the starter. So I have scooped out a cup and a half of the starter from here that I'll be using in this recipe, and this rest of this is going to be getting used in other recipes in the future. So what's going to happen with these is I'm going to put them into a large bowl. Altogether, this recipe uses 5 cake mixes. The first 2 I'm going to use right now. I'm using yellow cake mix. Taking these first 2. Now the size of cake mixes has changed considerably over the years. So we've done the math, and 5 cake mixes is what is needed using today's measurements. So I'm going in with my hands, and we're going to toss the fruit with these 2 cake mixes so that when they get stirred into the cake, they don't all sink to the bottom. So Mac is going to get some work today. So basically what I'm going to be doing is making a really large cake mix. So here's my big bowl. This is an 8-quart. We're going to put in 3 cake mixes. This is 1.5 cups of the starter, or the syrup from the fruit. And then we need to add 16 eggs. So our 16 eggs are going in. So there our syrup's in there. We can go the 16 eggs. And 1.5 cups of oil. And now these are going to go in the mixer. I start low. Now we're going to nudge it up a little bit. All right, that actually looks really good already. Let's go ahead and turn this off. I do see a little bit of flour right there. Now dig down and make sure there isn't something sitting on the bottom. No, it looks good. Then we're going to put our fruit in. It wouldn't be a fruit cake without the fruit. A bit of flour that's loose from the fruit. We're going to have to work that in. We're going to stir this in. Fold in our fruits. I'm going to have to find people to share this with because it looks like a lot of food. While I'm working on that, I'm also going to add my nuts. So this is 4 cups of nuts of your choice. I'm using pecans today. Supposed to be chopped. They're kind of broken up, so they're not super small, but they're not ginormous either. Okay, so in those will go. I want to be busy stirring them. I might as well do it all at once. All right. Okay, that actually looks pretty well combined. There's a lot of fruit and a lot of nuts in there. Okay, so we're going to start scooping. Should go about 2/3 of the way full on this pan. I did pan spray this in advance so that it would be ready. Set this one aside. I'm going to have to get more pans, so I'm going to go cupcake for this next part. Okay. These will bake in my oven at 350. The 2-pan needs to bake for 36 to 41 minutes. The cupcakes bake 13 to 18 minutes. I obviously cannot fit everything all in my oven at one time, so I'll have to do batches. And I also still need, I have more batter, quite a bit more batter. So I think I'm going to go with a 9 by 13 for the rest, and I'll be back when I'm ready with that. Okay, so I'm back. It has been a while. I've been busy, so I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see the product I work. I'll give you a tour. So we have 1, 2 plates of cupcakes. We have a 9 by 9, a 9 by 13, and the centerpiece of it all, this guy here. All right, so that's our bundt cake. I made a cream cheese frosting to glaze them with. It's not real heavily frosted, they're just kind of glazed just to make sure that there was enough for everything. Let's try, I'm just gonna do a cupcake. No sense in cutting into any of the big cakes. Let's go ahead and unveil this guy so that you can see the fruit in there. And there's the glaze. It's moist. I'm getting a bite of, I think it's a cherry. It's pecan. So it's not your usual heavy fruit cake with that's doused in booze for weeks and weeks. There is booze in it. It has a light texture. I mean, it's not, because you're using cake mix, so it's not the big heavy cake that you get from regular fruit cake. Definitely better than the average fruit cake, at least for me. I really don't like fruit cake. So yeah, so this is much better. When my grandma was still living, and while she was still able, every year she would make fruitcakes. And she could never remember who liked them and who didn't, so she would make me one and give it to me. But then I had to find someone to regift it to because honestly, I don't like fruitcake. But I know it's a lot of work. I know it takes a lot of time. I know that it's not cheap. I didn't want to make her feel bad. She went to all that trouble. So when my friend offered me a taste of her friendship cake, hi cookie, I was very leery to try it. But I did, and to my complete surprise, it was actually good. I will include the ingredients and the preparation for the friendship cake in the description below. Next time I'll be making a cake from a recipe from my Aunt Lois. We'll talk more about that next time. I want to say welcome to my new subscribers. I really do appreciate you coming along with me. I want to say thank you to those of you who keep watching me week after week. I really do appreciate that. If you have any questions or other feedback for me, please feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I really do love hearing from you. I realize today's recipe is rather a tall order, but if you do try this recipe, please let me know in the comments with an emoji that's appropriate to tell me what you think of it. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate that. It helps my channel to continue to grow. Joining me on my journey through the desserts and specifically through the cakes. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.